soon in Sarasota. West Wall Boats, kayak experts selling the only pedal kayaks with a reverse, pedal forward or backwards. Need a paddle fishing board, SUP, or kayak? You need West Wall Boats shallow water outfitters. Comfort is king. In a native ultimate angler watercraft, you are king. If standing is your thing, they have paddle fishing boards complete with a Yeti. If you can dream about doing it, West Wall can help get you there. WestWallBoats.com. WestWallBoats.com. Located next to Giggles on Tamiami Trail, Sarasota.
We are.
We got it. Mr. Christopher Taylor, how are you, sir? Come back fishing, do another show. Got some beautiful crappie again. Lake, I can't say it.
Istapolska, guys.
Istapolska. Oh, man, this is incredible. He comes in this morning, he's like, man, I got some great video. I know last week these guys went out there, he brought some video back, had some really fat, beautiful, beautiful crappie. This time he's got even bigger crappie. I mean, really incredible.
We're starting to figure it out, guys. I'm starting to get my groove on when it comes to crappie.
I mean, I think you guys, what did you hit, like 40, 50 of them in one little corner?
You'll see a video here toward the end of it when I'm doing a little bit of filleting, but you'll see we got 42 on the board, and I threw away, if you could see all the video, I threw away myself personally over 10 crappie. That just were like, you know, it's 10 inches, but go get bigger, you know.
I got to ask you, I'm going through the video, and you know, I get a lot of video, I go through a lot of video, a lot of people send it in. Chris has this one, the very first clip that he has when he gets out to the lake fishing, and I go, what the heck is that? It looked like a ladyfish. He goes, it's a pickerel. I go, what? He said, it's a pickerel.
It's a pickerel.
And I go, what's a pickerel?
Well, back when I was younger, you know, a pickerel was called the boss because my boss was Bill Pickerel, and that's the first I ever.
Pickerel aluminum?
Yeah, pickerel aluminum. So, you know, I mean, that's where I learned the word pickerel from. But really, tell you the truth, guys, these pickerel look just like northern pike. I mean, they're just miniaturized a little bit. Really cool looking fish, very ferocious, has lots of teeth. You don't want to stick your finger down there. But right off the bat, as you're going to see when we got started over there, we had to get up tight to the bushes because of the wind was just a howl, and we finally met the teeth on the lake, you know.
Sure. It's been a windy couple of weeks, really.
I know, but we have been so lucky. We've been to the lake 3 times in a row and had really mild climate conditions over there, real nice days. And then all of a sudden we got over there, and we're talking 3 to 4 foot chop on the lake. Cold as ice. I mean, even, hold on, I had Canadian boys in my boat and they were saying cold as ice.
Oh yeah, you know, this time of year you get the wind that comes across the lake with nothing to stop it. It'll take the warm right out of your bones. But now on that pike you caught it, actually a northern pike in a southern lake. You're using what, that Strike King you said? What was that? My
Strike King, I was using the Strike King spinnerbait. Basically, with the willow blades and a Colorado.
Sexy shad color?
Sexy shad is what I like to use down here in Florida. It's a bluegill looking color. I'm sure if you live in different areas of the country, you're going to use different colors. But down here, our bass are getting ready to go up on bed. They're going to be feeding on bluegill pretty heavy so that they can fatten up and become...
Well, he was down there last week, brought a video back, and I think you guys, they were getting the same big crappie, but Chris decided to take that same, it was the Strike King, the sexy shad spinner, and threw it out into some, you know, deeper bass water, pulled in a beautiful bass, really nice.
Oh, it was definitely nice. First of all, guys, Istapolska is not really a crappie lake. It's a trophy bass lake. It's for getting the big, huge, largemouth bass. Matter of fact, as to date right now, on that trophycatch.com thing for the Florida governor, where he pays you to catch.
Oh, okay.
Guys, the governor will pay you to catch these big fish.
Very cool.
The more have been taken pictures and released back into this lake.
Oh, sure.
So,
well, there are some big trophy bass that's known for that, but really impressive. The crappie were really impressive that Chris was catching. Now, I noticed when he was fishing, you had the float, the minnow sub. Did you get those at Rio Villa minnows? Does that?
Oh yeah, we sort of missed on that last show. I mean, we started to talk about Rio Villa, but Becky over at Rio Villa, what a godsend. This girl, her minnows, for some reason, these minnows are all unique, guys. Don't waste your time going all the way out to some bait shop you don't know. Get over to Rio Villa, get the minnows from this girl. These minnows are on steroids. These babies are wee. They're running around in the bucket. I don't know. Thank you, Becky, for whatever you put in the water, but that whatever's good.
It's keeping them kicking.
Those minnows slam. So here's what we hit on this.
Well, that's what, about an hour and a half drive. So you picked up the minnows in Punta Gorda and drove across the state.
No, you pick them up the night before. They'll stay in the bubble bucket. It's a nice little cooler bucket. But so this last trip, we went to, we couldn't get it. Becky was out of minnows. Everybody's got a popular place. Everybody's going there.
Oh, sure.
So we had to get our minnows from the lake.
Oh, no. Not as good, huh?
No.
Oh, no.
Well, let's say, by the time we drove across the lake, which takes about 5 minutes from the place where we bought them, I had about 6 to 8 of them that were just floating on top dead.
Yeah,
so I throw them out. Luckily, the guys that were fishing with me are from Canada. Okay, guys, these guys are used to putting a dead minnow on a hook and throwing it down through 8 inches of ice and sitting there looking at the glass TV fishing. That has to be awesome.
Now these guys do. In Canada they do a lot of ice fishing, and it's kind of a bloody mess. So they have a procedure where they actually bleed a fish before they store it and then cut it, and it's supposed to be better tasting, cleaner, and everything. Matter of fact, let's cut to this video real quick. Just check this out. Some of your guys you were fishing with, man, they did a pretty good job. Caught a nice crappie, and we'll show you what they're talking about and really see, what really if there is a difference. But check this out. We'll be right back.
See you guys.
Woo! Okay, now, Jill's gonna show us a little move here. He says that we need to bleed these fish, so I'm gonna let him show us. Jill, won't you come over here? And I'm gonna let you show us how you do this. And any fish there? Let me find my blades here for you. Here we go. Okay, Doctor. Okay, so he says that this is what you got to do. You need to cut the throat here. He says once you cut these throats, he said this fish is going to start bleeding. Okay, so here you go. You can put that back in there. We can put that in the pail. Oh, nice. See that, guys? Here you go. Take this. Take this. Okay, so what he did is he just reached right under the throat here. You can see, guys, he just slit the throat, and he said this fish is going to bleed out here in a few seconds. Here it'll be done, and then once it bleeds out, the fish won't be slimy and the meat will taste really, really good. So that's what we're hoping for. And as you guys can see, we eating that one.
All right, folks. I told you now it's a little bit grizzly. I know. Yeah. I'm not big into it.
I'm going to use a knife on the fish. Not for you weak at heart people.
There's an old saying, I like the sausage, but I don't have to meet the butcher. So, but you just got to meet the butcher. But anyway, what do you think? I mean, you tried.
Well, I tell you what, guys. I did the fillet test for these guys, and I went ahead and we did the test. One boat did the non-cut, and our boat did the cut, the little throat cut. As soon as you catch them, you just pull the gills up right where the gills meet that little area right there. Just a little cutting right there, and you'll see the blood. You'll see the blood start to come out. Their heart is pumping. I know it sounds barbaric, but we're already eating these things.
Well, they're getting thrown on ice too.
They're getting thrown on ice. It's pretty much a route in for them, anyways. Their life is not, it's over for them. So, but. The cut is not gonna do it.
I love listening to people explain when they fillet fish because they don't want those emails going, oh, that poor fish, how could you do that? But the truth of the matter is, if you ever seen an alligator or a gar or something eat a fish, you wouldn't be so light and hard about it because we're kind, believe me. But anyway, yeah. But
okay, forget about the butcher and all that stuff. So we did the test with all this stuff, and I tasted both fillets. I'm on the fence. I'm into not cutting the fish, putting them in the cold ice. They calm right down, and you fillet them up later. They taste great. I'm all for my method. They can do their method in Canada, and you can also try that method If you feel that it, you know, there's certain fish that they do say to lead.
Oh, sure.
Sharks,
I could see a bloody fish. I mean, I could see jacks and stuff like that, you know, and stuff. Tuna's gonna.
This is white meat.
This is freshwater, Florida, and it's pretty white and clean. So, but I guess they all taste good now. Well, Chris has it, and you'll see it now. We'll show you while we're talking. He had a huge, big table full of crappie to clean. Yeah. So what'd you end up with? I know that's a cooler and a half full.
42 crappie that I ended up cleaning.
You I waited.
Listen, I waited for everybody to show up to this fillet party.
Nobody came.
I was the only.
Putting a good blade on it. That's essential to get a good fillet. So, you know, if you got a good sharp blade, it's going to make this process real easy. Then I'm going to come right here behind the fin. I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to come back right like this, and I'm just going to follow along them bones. I know it looks like I'm cutting right next to my finger, but I've been doing this all my life since I've been a little bitty boy. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get all that meat off that fillet right there. And just come right up over top of those bones. Okay? Little pin bones right there. So you just want to follow your knife right along them bones. Then I cut it right at the top. Terry likes to go down. He likes to cut that belly meat. But I take and I send these, the rest of these carcasses, I send them over to an Asian lady at my church. And she just loves this stuff. She says there's so much meat left on there, and she just loves it. Her and her family make a fish soup out of it, and they really enjoy this stuff. So, yeah, just follow along here. Follow along the bones. Slip the knife through the other side. Like that, boink. You'll get better as you go along. That's one thing about filleting. It's sort of, as you start filleting 1, 2, you know, by the time you get to the third one, you're starting to get it down. Especially with these fish, you're doing multiple fillets. So there they are. You can see that they're not that big. You got a nice little carcass left over from my Asian lady there at church. I'm gonna lay this knife down. See how I'm holding my fingers on it like that, and I'm just gonna lay the knife nice and flat and come right across it like that and just take it right off the skin. Then you have a nice little piece of meat there. Skin's left over. We don't need the skin. We'll throw the skins over here for right now because she don't eat those. She just likes the carcasses for making fish soup. And just go like that and just slide it across the bottom. Boom, voila. Crappie fillets, guys. Don't forget to have the music cranked up. Have a nice clean area. And go fishing, guys.
One there, man.
It's always that way.
I was the only one that came to the fillet party. But, you know, I was still good. I handed out the meat. I went around and handed out my packages and gave, like I tell you guys, I give away as much meat as I can to families and people of need. They appreciate it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, nothing goes to waste.
No.
And actually, the way if you watch Chris filleting these, I mean, nothing goes to waste. You get down to the bone, gets the whole fillet. They get
nothing goes to waste,
sealed.
guys, because the only thing that I'm wasting on this whole fish is the fish skin. And I take that over to my canal with my fish food, and I throw it down there, and my fish eat the fish skin.
Sure.
I take the carcasses over to an Asian lady at church. She eats it all.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there ain't nothing left. She eats it all, and she's very, very grateful for having just the, you know.
Well, you saw my dad was here earlier. I mean, he makes fish head stew, and
that's what she makes.
Yeah, fish head stews. They dump whatever's left of the fish in a pot of stew, and they make a nice soup out of it. And it's very good.
It is good.
Very good.
If somebody doesn't tell you you're eating fish soup
or fish head soup,
yeah, you're going to be fine with it. I think you really will. It's very tasty. You just got to put your mind around it.
Oh, sure, absolutely. But, I mean, the fishing's great right now. Florida, if you're freshwater fishing, there's some really nice bass. Like Chris said, the fish are going on bed in freshwater right now. So a lot of big males, like the crappie you were catching out there, they're fat. You know, stuff.
Speaking of males, I mean, all these fish you're going to see, guys, not one was a female.
Is that right?
These were all males. I don't know what happened. I think the males came up. It was a full moon, for one. We fished the full moon. That was the February 3rd. It was a full moon. And these fish moved up probably to start the bedding process so when they can call the big females up there to come up and come up. I got the house ready. Let's go, baby.
Ready to play house.
Car's gassed up. Let's go, you know? So, but I was amazed after filleting all that. One thing I like to see when I'm filleting is what's going on. What are these fish eating? What are these fish doing? Is there eggs in these fish? Have I taken pregnant fish that could have went ahead and laid more eggs? And be cautious of looking for that fish again to let her back in the water to do her thing.
Sure.
You know, I'm not there to eat mama, I'm there to eat.
Sure.
So, you know, there is eater fish out there always for us.
Well, you have to make sure, and you want them to propagate. You want fish back there next year when you go back. So you definitely want to respect it and take your keep, and that's it. No more than you need to keep. But it's beautiful fishing. It was a nice day out there. A lot of guys caught a nice little table full of crappie, and you had 2 boats out there, huh?
Yeah, so we had 4 guys. So I flayed the stuff up and, you know, distributed between the 4 guys. We count the fillets out and do all that stuff.
Sure,
but
sure.
Everybody ate really well, and I think that Mr. Jill will be down from Canada again to try that again.
Well, I tell you what. Also, don't forget. You know, you could take those fish carcasses, chop them up. You got the head left and stuff. Throw them in a blender, chop them up. Great chum. If you're going to go saltwater fishing, even freshwater fishing, you know, dump it out there. It will attract bait. And freshwater may attract some alligators, but it's
yeah, you got to watch out in freshwater. You know, what I see in my canal, the turtles usually end up eating my fish guts and stuff. But my fish guts don't go to waste because I don't really. They get recycled. Mm-hmm. Everything I catch gets recycled all the way to the bone.
Got to use it all now. I tell you what, Charlotte Harbor is still, you know, great trout fishing. 2 good trout fishing, I'll say. It's actually aggravating to the point where I'm out there and I'm fishing for reds and I'm catching trout, and they're like, spook the reds away. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe let's change it up, guys. Let's instead of the trouts are pretty much out in a 3 and 4 foot water. They're out in a little deeper water, which most of you guys are trying to travel in right now because of the depth of the water is almost minute. Maybe let's try getting out of our boats and parking and taking a little walk. Mm-hmm. Maybe let's walk over to one of those oyster bars that are sticking up out of the water, and let's throw a gold spoon around it. Let's stop in our local crabbers and let's say, hey, can you get a couple crabs that I could buy off of you? Maybe exchange a couple drinks. Talk to your local crabbers. These guys are, you know, some really good guys, and they know the water. They'll teach you a few things if you just stop and, you know, ask them. These guys are on the water every day, okay?
Well, you know, that's telling too. I mean, you start talking about the crabs for bait. When I'm out fishing, like we went out, I've been staying mostly in canals and on the edges of canals because of the wind. It's been windy, it's a pain in the butt going out there. So I'd rather not get knocked around. And one thing you'll notice that the crab traps, because it's been like at negative low tides and super low tides, the crabbers are moving the crab traps deeper into the channel.
Oh, most definitely.
And of course, they're also doing it because the redfish are eating the crabs, and the redfish are deeper in the channel, and they're going after the crabs. They're going into the crab traps. So if you kind of look for the crab traps, you'll have a good idea of where the bait is that the redfish are eating right now.
Well, the crabbers are pretty smart guys, okay? They're going to put their crab boxes in the line of their move. There's a move that goes up and down our coastlines and our waterways where it might be a big flat of open area, but there's a movement of water that goes through that area like a river almost. It's like a trough. We call it a trough. And they're going to put those cages, those crab traps right on the edge of these troughs to try to, you know, get these crabs because they're using the trough to navigate. That's
what we actually caught a few nice. There were juvie reds, but they were nice reds to catch. They were a lot of fun. But it was actually on a line in Tippecanoe Bay where a crabber left about 6 traps down a line. I went just inside of the trough of those crab traps and caught some nice little juvie reds. Now, guarantee you, they were down there looking for crabs to eat. And so they're still running around the flats too. When we were scooting across the flats, me and Bridget, just outside of Hog Island, I scooped up at least half a dozen crabs. I gave to my dad. Blue crawls that were running around. So if you like them for bait, he could have been
fishing with them.
Yeah, you like them for bait. There you go.
Yeah, you and Bridget could have just holed up at near, you know, like I'm telling you, get near some oyster bars. Right now, this time of the year, these oyster bars are going to come out of the water. You're going to see them visual oyster bars. They're going to be oysters sticking up out of the water.
You go to any of those waterways coming out of the Lewis waterway, all the ones in Alligator Bay,
go to your
Pirate Harbor. I mean, any of these open canals that are coming into islands, there's oyster beds all around those islands. At the end of the canals, there's oyster beds. Even the riprap, you're going to find nice oysters around that riprap in canals.
Where you find them? Well, one of my favorite places to fish is Hog Island. It's all oysters,
oyster beds everywhere,
all the way through. I mean, every single one of those shorelines are just oysters piled out on the shore and hanging down from the mangroves. Those reds love that, guys.
That's
they
where the
love
crabs
that
are.
area.
That's where they're eating. But so it's really great fishing out there still. We're all over trout. Just about anything's catching trout. Reds seem to be eating definitely on shrimp. It's cold. It's winter. They're eating those shrimp that are on the bottom. You know?
Well, let's go with our this time of the year report right now. What I'm hearing is people are pushing up in your PGI canals. Okay, they're going for your big black drum. Your fairly nice sized reds are up in there. I just talked to a gentleman right now when I was getting my haircut. Look at that beautiful. Oh, thank you, Carlos.
You got the young Republican. That's a good one.
That's right. This is straight and tight right here, boys.
Yeah,
so
I gotta go. Are you kidding me? They're gonna scream when they see me walk in the door.
Straight and tight and fish all night. Okay, so the PGI canals. Guy was in there, said, I got like 20, 30 guys fishing on my dock out of PGI. Is that allowed? I said, well, depends on if you like people or not. You know, nobody owns the water, and you must have a very good fishing spot. Well, he told me his location, and sure enough, taken my son there many a times. It's a hot location. It's where a canal turns on a main canal, and it's got a really deep hole right in front of his thing. He's got a fishing hole. Back in where the wind is protecting them. This week it's going to get really cold.
Yep.
It's going to drop down in the 30s in the mornings. Redfish love it.
Yep.
Drum love it. You know, all of those cold water fish come alive, and your trout come alive even more. They love this cold weather.
Most people associate big reds that are fishing with having freezing hands because you got to reach in and grab a shrimp to put it on, you know, watch it. So they're definitely, you get the big reds in this cold water, and they bottleneck. When you get those negative low tides and those canals empty out, all the water bottlenecks in the center of the canals, around the oyster beds, and of course the snook, the reds, the trout, they're all together. Sheepshead, snapper, I mean, they bottleneck.
Most definitely.
So you're going to be on fish.
The sheepshead are definitely going on right now.
Oh, a lot of sheepshead. You get around the oysters.
Small hooks, you know. Yep. Get that small hook, get that little bit of crab, or get that little tiny bit of shrimp on there and fish around the pilings and stuff.
Fiddler crabs are the money with sheepshead. I mean, they'll definitely eat shrimp and all that, but the fiddler crabs, if you can find them in a local shop or catch them yourself, and not the brown ones that you see on the trees on mangroves. They got to be the purple and the white round ones with the big claw. Those are the ones
they sell them around here, guys. You guys can buy them at the local bait shops and stuff. I'm sure everybody's carrying fiddlers this time of year.
So yeah, you want the snapper and the sheepshead. They're loving those. But yeah, we better wrap it up, bud. We're gonna let you guys check out some of this video. We got some more new stuff coming up. We've actually got some real estate on the website now. We're getting the show up and going. That's probably in about a week or so. Really got some cool stuff coming. We got Justin. Got some more video coming.
Well, hopefully, landlocked Justin gets around here. That boy, all he does is fish right now.
Yeah, he's got a camera full. As a matter of fact,
we're gonna have to get this boy a boat. Heck with this landlocked stuff. We gotta. Actually, no, it's pretty neat. Fish. You know what? When Colin was younger, and Justin is exactly Colin's age. We used to go landlocked all the time. That's all we did. I drove all over Port Charlotte. I knew all the spots to hop out of my pickup truck and run through the bushes and jump down in the water, wade out to your waist about right here and cast as far as you can, because I know there's a fishing hole right over there.
Oh yeah.
And we would kill it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's how back then you could, no problems.
You can. We live in paradise, guys, and there's a lot of access to our water. We are not like any other place on this Florida's whole coastline.
Yeah, Charlotte Harbor is an
accessible water.
And there's ramps everywhere, so if you have a boat and you got a ramp, you could ramp Placida, you ramp El Jabin.
If you can't fish, you're just making an excuse, right?
Yeah, you can't get out there. And all the ramps have fishing docks at them, so you can go fishing at them. So, okay, we're going to wrap this up, folks, and definitely we'll get together here in about a week or so. We're going to be, I think me and Chris need to plan a trip. I haven't gone fishing with Chris
man. We definitely need some fishing trip. We've been doing too much work.
Oh, it's crazy. So, yeah, we definitely got to get together and go fishing, see if we can get on some big reds out there. I'd like to get Dad's boat. We'll drag Dad out there in Boca Grande and hook into some of those gigantic grouper out there.
That cooking show that I did, it fat shamed me, guys. I had the big belly sticking out there. I'm gonna have to have Frankie come over. I'm gonna have to have Frankie come over and get the better selfie angle, so I look a lot skinnier. And we'll get a little more lighting on it. And I'll show you guys a little bit more in depth how we do cook some different stuff. I got some ideas.
Well, I think we're going to do jambalaya too, so check that out. That's coming up pretty quick. We'll do a really cool fish and shrimp jambalaya with some fresh fish, and we'll buy some bait someplace and use that in the jambalaya to see how
bait fish jambalaya.
Good stuff, man. I'll tell you, those shrimp that they had at Fine Bait and Tackle, I'll tell you right now, my dad bought those for $3 a dozen. He's going to go and eat. He's not going fishing.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. I have many people. They used to tell the old myth was, don't eat those. Don't eat those. They put some special chemicals on those. Don't eat those.
Right?
Oh man, come on.
So check it out. If you need the minnows, freshwater minnows, Rio Villa Bait and Tackle down there.
Rio Villa Bait and Tackle.
Becky did great for you. If you're looking for the fiddler crabs, I know Roger had them over at Fine Bait and Tackle in Northport. He has nice, big, beautiful fiddlers. He's got shiners and stuff too. And the big shrimp. He had those big shrimp with the antennas.
Yeah,
so if you're looking,
don't forget that you know, if you're gonna go out there, you're gonna start doing your trophy fishing, guys.
Oh
don't
man,
forget your
Daniels
Daniels.
Deceivers, definitely get on them. They're beautiful wood lures.
I wish I'd had the video that when we were at the lake, I decided at the very end of crappie fishing, we decided to float out into open water. And I had been seeing, this is the 4th trip we've done over there, I had been seeing these blow-ups out in open water.
Sure.
So I took my Daniels.
Yeah.
I'm going trophy hunting now. I thought I pushed the button on the video, but there was no power on it.
Oh no.
We got a huge blow-up out there. I mean, this bucket lips bass was like our canal bass.
Is that right? Oh no, I gotta go out there. What are you guys doing this like on Tuesdays, once a week? How do you do on that?
I don't know. I'm going over next Tuesday, guys. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but you're gonna find me at Lake Istapolska next Tuesday.
I'm tagging along. I just follow them. So, okay, folks, we'll hook up with you in about a week. Have a lot more fishing video and more people coming on. So be cool, go fishing, tight lines, and later.
See you. Go fishing, guys.
Awesome.